What's up, you guys? Welcome back to a new video. I am so excited to be sitting down today because today I'm finally going to be talking about gut health. I'm going to share everything I have learned over the past year with you guys because I really struggled with bloating last year and now I finally healed my gut and I barely bloat and I know what to do when I do get bloated, and I'm just super excited to share this with you guys because I've been wanting to film this video for the longest time, but I just really wanted to be in a place where I know that the things I'll be saying actually work and avoiding to spread misinformation. By the way, I do want to give a disclaimer that I'm not a professional whatsoever. I'm just going to be sharing everything that worked for me and all the things that I did to heal my gut, my triggers for bloating, and also some things I like to do to keep my gut healthy. But these things work for me. That doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. I don't think that anything is harmful that I'll be saying, but at the end of the day, take everything I say with a grain of salt because I'm not a professional. So having said that, let's just start with the video. I encourage everyone to really watch this video from the beginning until the end because everything that I'm going to be saying is really important. And yeah, I just don't want you guys to miss anything that's important so that you can also get optimal gut health and get rid of bloating. Because I know the feeling of bloating and it's not the best. I really hate it. So I really hope that this video will at least help one person to fix their bloating issues as well. So I'm going to divide this video in kind of three parts. First, I'm going to be talking about my symptoms and a little backstory about my gut issues that I experienced. Then I'm going to be talking about how I fixed my gut health and got rid of bloating. And then I will talk about how I keep a healthy gut and some quick fixes I have if I still get bloated occasionally, which barely happens, but if it does, I know exactly what I have to do and can get rid of it pretty easily. Anyways, backstory on my bloating. It started last year actually after the holidays in January, and I experienced a lot of bloating and I even experienced some painful cramps, not because of my period, but literally because of how bad my gut health was apparently. I would just get occasional random cramps and it really hurt. So when I experience problems in my life, I'm the kind of person who wants to do a bunch of research, really figure out what the root cause of it is and just fix my problem head on. So that's what I did. I did a lot of research about gut health, about bloating, about nutrition and all that stuff. I actually have a really long Notion page where I wrote down all the information. So basically when I really noticed that I had bad gut health was last year in January. It was after the holidays and I experienced a lot of bloating. Even when I woke up, I would be bloated, because one thing I do want to say is that bloating can be normal, but it can also not be normal. It really depends. If you experience bloating on a day-to-day basis, that's definitely not normal. But if you tend to get bloated at the end of the day, and especially if you ate foods that can trigger bloating, I know that broccoli, for example, can trigger bloating, then that's normal, But I would wake up with a bloated stomach every day, and I would also experience painful cramping, which is definitely not normal, and also the severity of your bloating. If it's really bad, I do advise you to see a doctor. But if you feel like your gut just needs a little bit of support, then I definitely advise you to follow some of the tips I'll be sharing today. So how I fixed my bloating was a combination of the foods I ate and also some habits that I maintained or got rid of. So first of all, for the foods I ate, the first thing I did was a week without sugar. I cut out sugar completely because the more sugar you eat, the more you crave it. It's as simple as that. I didn't know that actually, but once I started doing that, I noticed a big difference. After that week, I barely ate sugar anymore. And honestly, up until now, 1 year later, I literally eat less sugar because I just know this. I noticed that whenever I start eating a lot of sugar, I just kind of stop myself a little. Not that I don't indulge. I obviously love sweets, but just I know that if I ate a lot of sugar and I feel I'm craving it a lot, I just cut it out for a little bit, and then I can eat it in a certain moderation because I used to be such a snacker, especially for sweets. So yeah, I did that. I cut out sugar for an entire week. No natural sweeteners as well, maple syrup and agave I didn't consume, and that already helped a lot. Then after that, I started incorporating a lot of gut health supporting foods. So probiotic rich foods, prebiotic rich foods, also incorporating more fiber into my diet, and that helped a lot. I actually did a gut health grocery haul last year. I'll link that video down below for you guys so you can see all the things I bought during that period. But basically what I would be doing is drinking bone broth on an empty stomach. Sounds disgusting. It also isn't the nicest, but if you add a little bit of lemon into it, it's fine. I also drank kefir. I started drinking this tea that I really love. It's a transit time tea. So basically it makes you poop, TMI. But that tea, chef's kiss. I really recommend it. But yeah, I also just ate more sauerkraut and kimchi, and there are so many foods you can eat that are filled with probiotics and prebiotics. And besides limiting like sugary foods, I also just limited processed foods, because at the end of the day those also feed back bacteria. And I would just opt for like a whole food diet. It's so good for you. It's also going to give you more energy, and there's so many benefits to a whole food diet, but your gut health is also just going to be extremely happy when you incorporate more whole foods into your diet and get rid of like sugary and processed foods. But at the end of the day, obviously everything in moderation. Never restrict yourself. Okay, now moving on to some habits that have really helped me with my gut health. Habits also really matter. I thought it was mostly food, but once I stopped doing certain things, I started seeing some really big results. First thing is eating slower and eating more mindful. This is one of the biggest things that has helped with my gut health. I kid you not. It's so important. So basically, I think for me, I mean, I've always been a slow eater all my life, and I also never struggled with gut health. But last year, guess what? I ate so fast, and I really think that it was kind of correlated to the gym. Because I was focused on gains, and after a gym I would just get home hungry and just snack and snack and snack and just eat really fast, and somehow I've just kind of developed a habit of eating really fast, and also not eating like mindfully, eating when I'm stressed, which is the worst thing you can do. So basically what I advise you all to do is just eat slower. Count how many times you chew, because you're supposed to chew, I believe, around like 20 to 30 times, and last year I was definitely not chewing that often. I was probably chewing like 5 to 10 times, 10 max. So just chewing more slow is already going to make huge changes. So definitely chew more, and also eat more mindful, because when your body is in like a stress mode, also your digestion isn't going to be optimal. So that's why I also really recommend mindful eating. And another reason why chewing slow is important is because when you eat slower, your body can like tell you when you're gonna be full. If you eat really fast, your body can't keep up with it, and it won't give you that signal of like, oh, I'm full, and then you overeat and then you feel really full, and it just isn't the best. So that's why I really recommend you guys to eat slow. If you struggle with that, I definitely have some tips for you. So I would really, first of all, just advise you to take some deep breaths before you start eating, especially when you tend to be stressed a lot whilst eating. I would just recommend you to take like 3 deep breaths before starting your meal. Second thing I would advise you is to put down your cutlery whilst you're chewing. So take a bite, put down your cutlery, chew till your food is liquid. That will be optimal. I know that it's hard, but it's so worth it. So really just like put your cutlery down, chew, 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 and then take a new bite once you've swallowed your food and once it has been properly chewed, because the digestive process already starts in your mouth. So that's definitely one really important thing that I advise you guys to do. Second thing that really helps me is to drink warm water in the morning on an empty stomach. I like to hydrate immediately when I wake up, because the water is just kind of going to like activate your digestive system. It will make you go to the restroom, and warm water is optimal. If you don't like warm water, opt for room temperature water, but please don't drink ice water, because that's also like cold foods in general are harder for your body to digest, and especially in the mornings, warm water is just the best. But if you don't like it, I know it's weird, it's not always like nice, then just opt for room temperature water, but try to stay away from ice cold water. And the reason why I also really like to drink water in the morning is just because it helps me like activate my digestive system, and it helps with your transit time. This is TMI again, but you gotta poop, honestly. I'm not just gonna say it. I know it is not nice to talk about, but that's also really gonna trigger bloating. So also just like incorporating more fiber into your diet, it's another tip, just so you can, you know, go to the restroom. Another really big thing that caused my bloating was stress. I noticed this when I was working shifts at work and it got busy and like my stress mode kind of got activated. Then I would notice that I would get bloated a lot as well. So honestly, just like one big tip, I don't only have for bloating, but for your life in general, is to figure out ways that you can deal with stress in a healthy way. So if that's deep breathing for you, that's perfect. If it's meditation, that's amazing too. If it's just telling yourself like, okay, it's fine, calm down, then do that. Like honestly, in general, just try to prevent yourself from getting into that stress mode in the first place, and try to find ways to get yourself out of it again if you do end up getting too stressed, because stress can definitely lead to bloating. I noticed this when I was on my holiday in Greece. The first day my sister and I were just chilling by the pool and we were so relaxed, and our bloating immediately went away. And I also noticed it because another time I was doing a meditation and I was super bloated that day, and I did a meditation, and after my meditation, I kid you not, my stomach was okay, my bloating went away. It was amazing. So stress is definitely something you should look out for. I'm always a little bit careful when I talk about portions of food, and if this is triggering for you, please don't follow this advice. But I do still want to say it because it is something that helped me a lot. Because of the gym, I just ate much more than my body needed. I was focused too much on gains, and I just ate too much, honestly, and I didn't need as much food as I was eating, and it just made me feel so full and so bloated, and I was eating so fast so my stomach just couldn't handle it anymore. So that was definitely also another big thing that contributed to my bloating. Okay, another thing that I didn't notice until really late was not wearing tight jeans and tight bottoms in general, because again, with the gym, I feel like my bloating was really correlated to my gym process, but in the gym I was making a lot of progress and I built a lot of muscle, so my jeans didn't really fit me anymore, but I didn't realize that until pretty late actually. I just thought, oh, I'm always bloated, that's why my jeans don't fit, but it was also because of my gym gains. And I should have just bought like bigger jeans much earlier, or like more comfy jeans, because when your jeans are like sitting on your stomach and like pressing into your stomach the entire day, your stomach doesn't have enough room to breathe and will then be so bloated when it finally has that room to breathe. That's why I really recommend you to just only wear things that are comfortable. And when you buy jeans and buy trousers or whatever, in the changing room, try sitting down with your pants, and if you already feel uncomfortable while sitting down, don't buy them, because it's not going to be comfy, you're not going to feel great in them, and you're going to get bloated, so it's not worth it. Just buy something that looks good on you and that's something that you feel comfortable in. It's so important. Okay, another thing that really helped me was not to drink water during my meals. I usually like to drink water like 30 minutes before my meals and 30 minutes after. Definitely not during, and especially not cold water during your meals. That's the worst thing you can do. That helped a lot. It's kind of something you have to get used to, I'd say, but it definitely helps. So yeah, that's another simple thing you can do. And then I would say the last thing that really helped was kind of keeping like a food diary and writing down the things I ate on days when I would get bloated, just so I could kind of notice a pattern. I first thought that I had a gluten intolerance or like a dairy intolerance. I don't. I just was chewing too fast. But this summer I ate a whole pizza and I didn't feel bloated afterwards. That's when I really noticed, okay, my gut health is in check again. But I did notice that tomatoes actually make me bloated, because when I eat too many tomatoes, like not just pure tomatoes, but also like tomato sauce, and if I eat like shakshuka, if I just eat too much tomatoes in a row, I get bloated. That's just what triggers my bloating. You should find your own foods that can trigger your bloating, and then you can start cutting them out or just not eating them as often. And it's also a great way to figure out whether you have any food insensitivities or whether you're allergic to something. You can obviously also do a test, but this is also just another easy way, because you'll definitely notice a pattern after a while. So those are all the habits I can really recommend and that have extremely helped me with my bloating. Moving on to some things I do to like keep my gut healthy, things I eat, and so on. So in general, I still like to incorporate probiotic and prebiotic rich foods into my diet. Like I said, sauerkraut, kimchi, all those things. I feel like sauerkraut is the perfect thing for me, because I love just like eating a fork of it or 2 or 3, or adding it to a meal, whatever. For me, sauerkraut is like such a perfect thing to eat because I actually like the taste of it. But you should just find some of the things that you like and that are like realistic for you to incorporate into your diet, and that can already make a big difference. Another thing that I think really helped as well was taking a magnesium supplement. I don't use a supplement, I use an oil actually. We had it in the house and I've just gotten used to using an oil that I love to massage into my stomach. But I think magnesium also can definitely help with your digestion. Then in addition, just eating fiber-rich foods like I already mentioned. I usually always start my mornings with something that includes fiber. I love making my green morning smoothies. If you've been around on my channel for a while, you know that. And I love adding flax seeds to my smoothies, or chia seeds. I also really love chia puddings. I'm the biggest advocate for chia puddings. They're so easy to make, they're super delicious, and also really good for your gut health. And now on to some quick fixes I have for times when I do get bloated. Things I love to do are, first of all, your legs up the wall. I'm gonna insert a picture of how it looks like, but basically you just put your legs up the wall. It also calms you down. So if you are stressed, if that causes your bloating, then that's also a really great thing to do. And also just like meditating whilst that, you know, habit stacking, we love it. And another thing I like to do is drinking kombucha. That really helps me. I also love to drink dandelion tea. It's actually included in the transit time tea I was talking about earlier, so I love that tea. And then if it's like extreme and I really want to get rid of it fast, massaging my stomach helps a lot too. I use the magnesium oil. You can use any oil actually, but there's like a lymphatic drainage massage you can do for your stomach, which will like activate your digestive system, I guess. I'm not really sure about this. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I think that it kind of just activates your digestion, like helps it to move faster and get rid of bloating. So those were all the things that have helped me. I could talk about this topic for hours, but I also don't want to make this video too long. If you guys have any questions, you can leave that down below in the comments. Overall, I just really hope that this video helped you guys a little bit, because at the end of the day, bloating is horrible. We don't want to live with it, so please incorporate some of these things, and I am convinced that it will definitely help you guys. Anyways, if you want to see more of me and the content that I make sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and then I'll hopefully see you guys next week in a new video.